jokes probably, but that shit was awesome to me.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, I had an old boss that I used to joke around. He used to call me Isaac all the time. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? And then he was saying it was a Love Boat reference, and I'm like, it's kind of racist. Just saying.
The one black man that was on the Love
Yeah,
Boat,
one black dude kept calling me Isaac.
but that shit was great.
Yeah, it was a good show. I didn't watch the next wave. I remember it was on like UPN or something way back or something like that. It was on some little thing. I know it didn't do very well. It was nowhere near as good as the original Love Boat. The original
Yeah.
Love Boat was like orgies, like fun orgies and stuff, but on a family network. So good.
Yeah, and UPN. I think that was that. I can't get the order right. Was it WB then UPN then CW? Is that it?
Shit.
Or TV
I think it was.
44
I think it was
first?
W. I think it was WB TV, and uh, then UPN, and now it's a CW.
But they had TV 44 somewhere in there.
So that's for us locally, yes, and it's
Okay.
still that way. If you have an antenna, you can still watch it in the Bay on Channel 44. But in other states, the UPN, we we be Black Station, as they used to call it, WB. That's all. It was all cable stuff.
Good fucking shit. You still rocking and rolling technically, Kronos over there?
Yeah, there's a problem with YouTube again. I don't know why. Last week I had to up the sample rate of the audio because there was like a crazy echo. Now this week the same thing, echo, but it was with the up sample rate, so I had to go back to like last week's sample rate, and now there's no echo. I don't know what the fuck is going on with YouTube and the software, so it's annoying.
Damn it. It is. Um, we were talking in the chat a little bit earlier just to kick things off. What's going on with this AMC stock? God damn it!
Oh, I'm
Everybody's
loving
seeing dollar signs.
I'm
Oh,
loving
man.
it. I'm loving it. Patrick, I know you're in the chat. I didn't let go of my stock. I know you said don't buy a meme stock. He was like, put it in something you're gonna really invest in. I was like,
He's all nah.
he's totally right. He's totally right. You should. I mean, you should definitely invest in something that you think could make money. I understand that I invested in a meme stock, but I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, there's gonna be some company that's gonna make it through. That's gonna be a movie theater company. Could be AMC. Could be Century Theaters. Could be whatever. And so I was like, I'm just gonna keep it in there. I'm not gonna sell it. I'm just gonna keep it in my stock portfolio. And yeah, right now they closed it at over $60 a share. And I don't have a lot. I only have like 10 shares, not a whole lot. I just did it to just say fuck you to some people. But when I bought it, it was like $14. So
That's great.
yeah, my return on investment
Yeah.
was fucking excellent. And I had a feeling that I was gonna go up by like a lot because like last month, like I think it's mid last month, they used to have the majority shareholders was like some Chinese company. And the Chinese company dumped all their stocks. And I was like, oh, well, this is probably a good chance for people to like buy in. And I think that's what happened is that they dumped all their stock, and then people saw that people are going back into the movie theaters, and they were like, well, they did the same thing as me. Like one of these companies have to like make it through COVID. Why not AMC? So yeah, if you're riding that meme stock train, then you may. And if you bought a whole bunch of meme stock like less than $14 like I did, if you bought it like for dollars, then you're making quite a bit of a profit at this point in time. If you decide to sell right now. So
Yeah.
Did they do the thing with AMC where like it was selling for pennies at one point during maybe the height of the pandemic? Or
yeah,
less than
yeah.
a dollar?
It was sort of a short sale situation as well. It wasn't as bad as GameStop, so it was selling for like super cheap. Obviously, all movie theater companies were not doing well during the pandemic, but like I said, one of them has to survive, at least one. So
Did they get any government money or subsidies to hold them through this whole thing, or no?
I don't know. They might have, and if they did, obviously, I'm not down with corporations getting stimulus checks. Sorry, I'm not even fucking sorry. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. Stop giving our money to corporations that put in little to nothing compared to what the people put in. Like we put in more than 4 times the amount of, probably way more than that, of corporations and small businesses as far as tax dollars go, and they took out combined small businesses and large corporations took out more than half of
Damn.
the stimulus check money. So, fuck them. the government they stole our money and gave it to corporations. So.
Yep, that's some bailout bullshit. But no, I'm happy for the folks who rode the wave and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I hope it goes up even more to the fucking moon, all that other stuff. Yeah, this is good. Now is Robinhood still doing that bullshit like what they were with GameStop? Didn't let you buy, didn't let you sell, or are they acting more appropriately?
Well, no. So the thing is that they talk about Robinhood, but it was really the people that own Robinhood that did it, and that it happened again today. Like they paused selling, they paused buying for AMC because they don't know how to handle the average person buying stock. You know what I mean? They're only around to serve corporate interests, and as soon as a corporate interest, once that's like out the window and people start doing what they want to do, then they don't know how to handle it. They'll just start pausing shit, and But
they advertise themselves as this great customer friendly, the little man kind of company. Like I've seen their ads on TV.
I'm gonna rewind a little bit. What I'm talking about is the actual stock market. It wasn't Robinhood. And so, with this time, the stock market itself paused. Because remember before when there was a huge sell-offs and who's buying, the stock market would just pause it. This happened again today. And then with Robinhood, they're owned by, I think it's Crucible or some other group where they were just nah. And then they had to be okay, well, they own us. It's basically, Patrick's in the fucking chat. He could probably explain this better than I am. But basically, there's only certain avenues you can go through to get into buy and sell through the stock market. And so the avenue that Robinhood was going through, they were just no, we're pausing. And they're okay, well, we have to pause it too because that's the only avenue they have to go through to get to the stock market. I'm using very poor words, but vaguely familiar with some of this shit. So
still sounds fucked up.
Yeah. Pausing it from being bought and sold is really messed up. So
I know they took a whole lot of heat. I do remember that.
Oh, they're still gonna take more heat. So. And they're probably not going to be the only ones that continue to do this kind of stuff. But we'll see. I knew people that bought in an AMC at $10 a share.
Yeah.
And they waited till now, and they're just oh my god, they're just freaking out. They're super happy for now. So we'll see. I mean, it's been going up pretty crazy in the last 3 days. We'll see what happens tomorrow too. Should be even more crazy.
I mean, I expect at some point there'll be a sell-off, but right now I think they could do very well for a while. So hold on, let me I'll pull up the actual page so people can actually see the past 6 months for AMC. Here, this is what it looks like. So I bought it probably somewhere not at $4. Somewhere around here is when I bought it. It was around $14, and then you see right now it's up at $62. So, but earlier this year, if you'd have bought in I'm sorry, January 4th, it was $2 a share.
Wow.
$2. And then it had the first meme spike was at $19. Then it went down and calmed down. Then I caught the second one where I got it at $14, and right now it's at $62. So,
yeah. Damn, it's up again. Last time I checked, it was at 54.
Yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna pull out yet, but I only have fucking 10 shares. It's not a lot, you know what I mean? So it's not I'm gonna fucking go home. It's not gonna make me rich, but I'll pull it out and put it in something else. So, but I just don't know when I don't have an exit strategy for AMC yet. I need to come up with one of those. So yeah, it's probably something everybody should do. Is if you're getting into stocks, have an exit strategy.
Yeah,
especially
no pull off.
Yeah.
No pull out. Take the condom off. Fuck that whole meat to meat.
Yeah.
Meat.
That's how you get into trouble. You want to pull all the way out. Look what happened to you.
Oh, this is true. This is true. No pull out game. But no, it seems awesome, man. I'm excited about that shit. That shit seems dope, and I just love the whole internet culture around it too.
Yes,
who the fuck would have guessed that in 2021? Internet memes about stocks and stock prices would be this thing that everybody speaks that same language. I wouldn't have guessed that shit. That shit is fun.
Yeah. So Patrick just gave some clarification. The stock calls today that happened were for the rules for any stocks. Which for today I understood that, but there was the ones from when the first meme stock thing kind of blew up. That's when things were kind of shady. Well, I don't have a real good understanding on that one. And he said he can explain further if we need him to.
God damn, we might have to call him up. Shit.
Yeah, might have to. Should I just let me see what's available. Actually, let me see if he has.
Shit, we might have a guest speaker.
Oh wow, that's great. I've seen a lot of financial like advisors. Like the guy that Wolf of Wall Street is based on. They've been going back to him about
That
what's
motherfucker ain't
going
in
on.
jail for doing all
Now
that coke and all that shit.
he
Well,
went to he went to jail. He got out.
I mean, come
He's
on.
been
If you have that much money, you don't. There's two different fucking,
yeah,
two different
yeah.
ways
You
that people get prosecuted. If you're rich,
that's
it's one
true.
way. If you're poor, it's another way.
I don't know
yeah.
why I assumed he was still in jail because I saw the movie. I don't know, like maybe 3-4 years ago, but obviously it could have been based on stuff that happened in the early 2000s or
It
late
was
90s or something.
no. That was based. Yeah, it was based in the '80s.
Oh
So
shit!
when
Yeah, there you go.
he got busted in the '80s, he did time, and he's basically back doing kind of the same thing. Apparently legally, because he's not in jail. He's not getting the feds coming after him again. But he was happy about this short squeeze and whatnot. But he also advises, like Cronus was saying, pull some chips off the table. You can leave some of your investment in there, but save some up, pull some out, sell some off or whatnot, and then make sure to pay your taxes. Because if not, you're going to end up in a lot of trouble. So
Tax paying is very, very fucking important.
Yeah.
While Kronos is
That's
trying
what
to get.
Patrick was saying. Is like, remember to pay your taxes because if you don't pay your taxes automatically when you pull out stocks, you're gonna be fucked. Like super
yeah,
fucked.
yeah. Especially if you spent all that money, you're gonna be like, oh shit, I owe this much to the government. Like, and they're like, yeah, or we about to put liens and send out bounty hunters and whatnot. You're gonna be stuck.
Well, the thing
God
is,
damn.
like, what people don't understand is like, you need to be in like a certain echelon of like knowing your financial shit to like be able to like really pull out large amounts of money for the stock market. And if you don't, and you just have some ho hum, if you're doing fucking TurboTax, you're gonna get turbo fucked. What if you got a lot of gains from these meme stocks? So yeah, I mean he warned me a bunch of times about it, but I'm okay only because like I don't have a lot and I pay my taxes when I pull out stock, so I wasn't too concerned. And I have a good CPA, so I'm not terribly concerned. Even like the stock that I pulled out last year, I pulled out a decent amount to like cover like my losses from having my wages cut from COVID. But basically, it wasn't enough to really make a difference, and I pay taxes anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm still waiting for him to answer on Facebook Messenger.
If he's available.
Yeah, see if he's available. I don't know. If he is.
I know we're putting him on the fucking spot, so we'll see if it works out.
Maybe he didn't make it because he's on the East Coast too, so it's fucking late. And he's got kids.
Yeah.
So.
That's all good.
All right, well,
did y'all see? Did y'all see? Was it Elliot Page without his shirt off?
No.
You see these pictures?
I have no interest really. I mean,
It was.
I saw it. I saw it briefly. I was scrolling on Twitter and shit. I was like, oh, okay, because they said that he was really looking forward to being able to do this, but I don't know. It doesn't. I don't see how it super mattered, at least to me. Now if he's all gung ho about it, then more power to him. Go ahead.
I just found it. Oh, go ahead, Punish.
well, I mean, let me just be honest. If you're gonna try to convince me to look at another guy shirtless, it's like, oh, okay, unless you're the fucking Rock or somebody that's super yoked, where I'm just like, oh, you got a nice physique, but it's just like if it's just some person that's just like some average body type, like any why would any guy? Well, not any guy. Or any, I guess, straight guy be interested in like somebody? You know what I mean? It's like I don't
it's
see
kinda weird.
why I would be interested in seeing somebody with their shirt off. Yeah, it's not a big deal. It should be normalized now, And for me, it's so normal where I don't fucking care. I don't want to see a whole bunch of dudes with their shirts off. It's just like.
Well, for me, I think it was an interesting transformation from his previous body type to where he kind of looks like a Justin Bieber clone now, and he's able to run around, and I think it's a proud moment for that person to show off like, hey, I did this, you can be able to do this too. And they didn't get like what was it, like banned or whatever from by Instagram or whatever, because they have a weird policies about people with like, I guess, large breasts sometimes or small breasts sometimes. So for them to recognize that his transition looks to be, pretty much. I don't know how close he is to fully transitioning, but it looks very, very close to done, I guess. And I think it's a good moment for him.
Top half is different from bottom half. I'm just gonna put that out there. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Don't you say nothing more. Okay,
I wasn't gonna say this, but I mean, your Fridays seem to be very very important to you. That's all I'm gonna say.
Animated Fridays. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what I be doing.
Now I gotta figure out how to add somebody to this.
Okay.
I haven't done this.
Well,
I haven't had a chance. Oh wait, here we go.
We might have it.
Yeah. Hopefully nobody saw. But gotta look real quick.
Okay.
There we go. All right, he'll be joining us shortly.
Okay.
All right, just send it to him. That's fucking dumb.
While he's joining up, Old Ninja, I know you actually saw like a movie in the theater, right?
Yeah, man. It was. In fact, I went to an AMC theater.
Okay.
So
there you go. Make me that money, Old Ninja.
You saw like. Yeah, I went to an AMC theater, and it was kind of surreal a little bit because it was.
Wait, you paid money for Cruella? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
No, I went to see A Quiet Place Part 2. It was just weird because like the front box office was closed, so they have like this line set up to go to guest services instead, and so I had to get my tickets from guest services. And like the theater I went to, they had renovated 2 of their theaters to have like leather seats, reclining seats, IMAX, and like the Dolby Atmos stuff. They didn't have that before, so now they have that installed, and I was like, whoa, this is way different. So I don't know if you guys did this during the pandemic or if you guys did it just before or whatnot. So it was just really interesting to me, and it was just strange. Like, I mean, we had to sit one chair away from other parties, but I sat in the theater with my mask on and just watching this film, and it was just like, wow, I kind of miss this experience, going in and having my chair rattle from like these crazy speakers and like seeing something like a 10-foot screen, and it was interesting. The theater I was in was sparsely filled; it wasn't fully packed, but it was still a sign that things are getting closer to back to normal, especially here in California.
Was this on a weekend or a weekday?
This was last night, so weekday.
I mean, even pre-pandemic, weekday like theaters oftentimes weren't all the way packed. But I think we got a guest.
There we go. Hey, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's going on?
Oh,
what's up?
Sorry to put you on the spot.
It's all good. How you guys doing?
Doing all right. Do you have a nickname that you go by besides Patrick or Pat?
I'll have to think about that, won't I?
Yeah. Probably I said something before I asked you to join. My bad.
It's all good. It's all good.
So let's go over. We're gonna rewind a little bit. Sorry, we're talking about going back to the movie theater, but let's rewind a little bit to these meme stocks, because I know you have some thoughts on it, and I kind of fucked up on what I said about the first time this happened. So rewind to like last year when the meme stock thing first happened. Why did they stop trading the first time it happened?
So they didn't stop trading. Any trading that stops is an exchange and a market decision. That has nothing to do with Robinhood or Charles Schwab or any of these people, right? Like, there's a big difference in the exchanges and the brokerage, right? And what happened, I think what you're talking about, Kronos, is when Robinhood and a couple other brokers said, you guys can't buy anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so that's a big difference, right? What happens is the markets work in like a tiered system, right? Where the brokerage firms are lower on the food chain. At the top of the food chain, there's these things called the clearinghouses. And all the brokers have to deal with clearinghouses. And the clearinghouse's job is to have enough cash to make sure that if Kronos is buying something and Old Ninja is selling something on the other side of the planet, because they are both buying and selling through established brokerage firms, their trade is going to happen. You're going to get your shares and you're going to get your money, right? That's the big deal. And when every single day, all of the exchanges and all the brokerage firms and all the clearinghouses essentially have a calculation they do that says, all right, you need this much money on hand to make sure that no matter what goes down, you guys aren't going to fuck up and not have enough money to settle your trades. Because if you don't settle your trades, everything breaks. And on the 99% of the days, that math works, right? They do what's called shock the portfolio, and there's these haircut numbers and all these things where the math is very tight, where they know you have to have X millions, billions of dollars, whatever that number is, on hand to cover the positions that you have in house. What happened with AMC and GameStop, and I think it was actually GameStop that really caused the stress on the system, is when a stock goes from 60 to 120 to 270 to 350 in a matter of 2 or 3 days, the amount of cash on hand isn't sufficient to meet that shock. So they will say to you, all right, you cannot buy anymore because buying requires cash that the clearing firm may not have. If you own it, you can sell it, right? Because selling it doesn't require me to have cash. It requires me to get cash. So what they said, Kronos, if you remember correctly, is they said you can't buy anymore.
Yeah.
You can sell it if you have it, because selling it again requires me to get cash, not me to give cash. So they stopped new buying, which was not good, right? It shows a flaw in the system, but it didn't stop you from trading fully, right? What happened today, there are rules that are built into the exchange for any stock, where if a stock moves too high or too low too fast, they have what's called a volatility halt. And that's a very established thing. It has nothing to do with memes. It's been around forever and ever and ever. Since before I got into the market, 20 years ago. It's meant to essentially do what it's a halt. Everybody catch your breath, get your shit together. Let's make sure that it isn't fraud. It's not the result of a bad headline, right? No one thought the president had gotten killed, and that's not true. It's to let the market catch your breath for a few minutes, and it's stock by stock. Now there are stock specifics, and then they're like exchange wide, right? So if like on 9/11 or days where things are really fucked up, they'll halt the entire market.
Yeah.
But normally it's just a specific stock that it gets halted because of volatility or because of a move that is way outside of anyone's expectations, and it's a rule. It's not anyone's discretion.
Gotcha.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Sorry, as you were talking, I was thinking I didn't introduce what you do for a living. So can you actually give your credentials what you actually do for a living? So
sure. So
bullshitting. Yeah.
the good news is what I do for a living at the moment has nothing to do with what I did for a living. So I'll focus on what I did. So for 18 years, I was an institutional trader at various brokerage firms in New York and in Chicago. I'm in Chicago now. I got to know some of these cats when I was living out west, kind of made a change in my career. But I focused on, I was the trader for banks, hedge funds, brokers, pension plans, anyone who is not what we call the two-legged investor, right? So if you were a professional investor, a professional trader, you needed a broker to go through. And for many, many years of my life, I worked for various brokers. Because of that, I had to become an expert on what we call market structure. So my job was never to say, hey, Kronos, buy this or sell this. My job would be, you would make a decision as an institutional investor, right? Let's say you worked at California, CalPERS, right? You would come to the place I worked and said, look, we want to buy 2 million shares of Apple today. How should I do that? My job was to worry about the how. You guys decided the what, the mechanisms, the mechanics, the market access points, the various algorithms and trading strategies. That was my responsibility. So because of that, I had to get to know the structure of the markets, how the equity and option markets, stock and options markets work. So I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax guy. I don't do any of that shit. My job is the actual mechanism of trading. I will talk to you about that, but I never dealt with retail. I never dealt with individual investors. I'm not an advisor. I'm not looking to manage anybody's money. It's just me talking about how this actual market works.
No, I mean,
but you did do a lot of just like the Wolf of Wall Street guys, right? Like off of the strip.
No,
of acid.
the white guys did the coke.
Okay.
The white guys did the coke.
Okay, I'm just making sure. You know.
No,
what I mean?
we had to stay back and work so they could do the coke on the boat.
Okay, you bumped those numbers up though. You know, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn, you know what he just did? He was like, "Oh, we were still out in the fields. Was Massive was out there at the party? It's all bad."
This is great though. Sorry,
No,
I'm not trying to disrespect your experience is awesome, and I appreciate this insight because it's really valuable. I'm trying to write notes.
It's
I know,
a
right?
different
I'm
planet,
like,
man.
I'm so glad we're recording. So I'm like, dude, I'm referring back to this. This is
I
great.
turned the music down just so people can hear Patrick talk.
What I will say for anybody who's looking to play this game and get into that world, like I put in the chat, like Chrono said, the tax situation's real, right? Like, educate yourselves on long-term versus short-term tax treatment, because when you cross that 1-year border, your tax treatment changes, right? So be aware, because let me tell you something. Uncle Sam will not forget about you. If you make money, whether it's on Bitcoin or Ethereum or AMC or GM, you know, whatever, right? Uncle Sam's looking for you, because guess what? You might say, I got a slick ass accountant who's going to do slick shit. The brokerage firm has to report their side anyway, so the government knows. So just do the right thing, because they will come for you at some point in time. And you will be wrong. You will be simply wrong. There's no the man got me. You fucked up if you don't pay your taxes on these transactions. And you have to understand that they're not going to take it from you. You have to put some money aside, because at the end of the year, you're due.
So hold on, I got to think about. So every time I've sold stock, I've always paid some sort of taxes on it. I don't know if it's just through like the way that I'm selling, because I use Fidelity, and every time I've sold stock, it's through Fidelity, and I pay stocks like the normal amount that I pay on my paycheck. I don't know if it's an option or what, and every single time, like I talk to my tax guy, he's like, "Oh, you're fine for the year," because he looks at my numbers.
So my guess is your employer also manages if you get stock as a part of your employee compensation.
ESPP.
Does it also go through Fidelity?
Yeah.
So likely then they're kind of looking out for you in that way.
Okay.
But that's not the default for average Joes who are just creating an account at Robinhood or wherever it may be.
Yeah, see, that's more important to know.
So
and also
aware.
For people that might think that, I can get away with it. I mean, think about Wesley Snipes. He thought he couldn't
pay
taxes.
Get away with it.
He paid fucking taxes.
Yeah, he worshipped the sun god, and the sun god didn't cover his tax returns. Ahmed Rod did not talk to IRS.
Yeah. My name literally means the son of Ra, and yeah, he fucked up. I'm just saying. And also, if you really think that you can, because some people can sort of get away with it, they can, but you have to be basically a millionaire or billionaire. If you have enough money to like really fight the institution, you can maybe do it. But if you listen to this podcast, you ain't a fucking billionaire. You know what I mean? You're a plebe. So don't play the game and get fucked with taxes.
And the Bitcoin, all the crypto, let me just not say Bitcoin, all the crypto money that's being made right now is even more suspect when it comes to the tax treatments, because they're not necessarily as regulated as some of the other things that we've been talking about. So anybody who's listening to you guys, please pay attention to how you're handling your money once you've made it. Because if you want to keep it, you got to make sure you're putting some money aside.
Yeah. And it's a shame that, I guess, obviously I took it for granted that mine was taken out automatically, but if it wasn't, I probably wouldn't have been, I'd have been fine, because on that side I'd have been fine. But most people, they don't understand that, if you just pull out some stock and all of a sudden you have like a, $1,000+ bill, or probably more than that, because you took out, X amount of stock, and you're not prepared for that on your tax bill. Yeah, that can ruin your whole life.
Dude, I've had this conversation 100 times where, like, you have 25-year-old folks, because crypto is mostly a young man's game right now, a young person's game right now, we can restate. And if you've never seen $25,000 or $50,000 before, and suddenly you have it, I don't blame you for spending it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't blame you for buying a new car. I don't blame you for going to Vegas. I don't blame you. But come April, there's going to be somebody knocking at your door. That thick envelope's going to come in the mail from the IRS, and you got a problem.
No Vaseline either.
Yeah.
None. And if it is, it's that government Vaseline, like government cheese. It's not the good
No,
stuff.
it's not the good stuff that's all hard and clunky.
So I don't know if
You got to warm it up.
I don't know if you know like how to do this, but how would they know like how much they would have to like set aside? So they just take like their current tax rate and then apply that to whatever they're getting. Would that be a general rule of thumb, or is there something more in depth?
It depends on how long you held the asset.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I want to restate: check out long-term versus short-term gains, capital gains, because that changes the percentage you are going to owe, and that number is at a year of holding that you convert from short-term to long-term. Right. So check that. When your brokerage firm must provide you statements if you look, so you'll be able to see when I sold, was it a short-term gain or a long-term? It shouldn't be a difficult thing for you to find, but you do have to put a little bit of effort in.
I mean, yeah, mine wasn't too difficult, but like I said, I was already covered anyway. But yeah, I obviously have to like put in the paperwork at the end of in April. I have to send it to my tax guy. So.
And they also by law have to provide you with those documents for you to hand to your accountant or file in TurboTax or however you're doing it, right? So like the retail investor, you and me and all of us are very well protected, but you have to put just a little bit of effort in, either when you sell it or at the end of the year. I think by like the middle of February, they have to produce these documents that you are then able to download and use in your tax filings, right? So like it's by law, they must make these available to you.
Quick question, Pat. Well, I'm going to call you Pat. If you don't sell, like you just hold on, because that's what all these, especially on the meme stock world, we're talking about a whole bunch of people talking about, I'm going to hold forever to the moon and all that other shit. If you are holding and it's continuing to rise and you're riding that wave, I'm assuming, you tell me if I'm wrong and tell our listeners, you don't have as many tax implications as you would if you sold.
You haven't made any money.
Yeah.
You haven't made any money, right? Okay. Now, the only time that could potentially change, and if I'm getting too deep, Chronos, let me know. But like, if the only time even a tiny bit of that could change if you own a stock that pays a dividend.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Which is usually a small amount of money per quarter per share you own, and it's usually sub $1. Now that can change widely depending on what the actual stock is, and that's again very easy to see because they will give you that money every quarter, but that's a small amount relative to what you invested, right? So like, and that could be treated differently than taxes, but even that, there's a separate tax document that you get every year where the government the brokerage will tell you exactly what you need to give to TurboTax or your accountant so that money is accounted for.
Yeah, I think that I just started, understanding part of this. I'm stumbling through. I might be like a blue belt at this point as far as like getting into this. But it's very interesting, like walled garden for like most people, because it's an institution that the vast majority of Americans, they're not privy to. They're not educated on it. And all these other people that are in that garden, they're making trillions. Last year they made trillions of dollars off of this. And I think I just find it very strange that the way that the stock market is currently structured is to not have mass appeal. So most people it's not designed for most people to like just gang up on one thing and just buy it. And I get it like on one aspect, but at the same time it's like, but if it's publicly available, like why can't we do this?
So there's never been a better time for individuals to educate themselves on the financial markets than now. The internet has leveled the playing field greatly, where there's just so much information. What I think we all need to make an effort to do is to find the right information, right? So like Reddit Wall Street Bets is probably not where you want to go to understand everything. They clearly have gotten some shit really right, but that's their doing, right? But if you want to learn more about how the markets function, and you want to learn about how the stock market works, and you want to learn about how the options market works, which I strongly suggest people do, there are public resources out there that are designed to attract the retail investor, right? They're not written for MBA folk. They're not written for people coming out of a business school or coming out of, various quant programs. They're written for you and I to be able to digest and action, right? So the information is out there. You just have to spend some time and energy to get it. There's never been a better time in modern history for people to learn about how these markets function.
Well, that's the sad part about the internet, right? Is that this is the best time to learn fucking anything, but it's also the worst time to learn anything because there's so much like nonsense out there. Like you have to like do your real due diligence, like understand things, but also at the same time, it's like I'm not going to give somebody an excuse of like, hey, the information's there, like get it. Yeah, you might have to sift through something, but previously, until the past 10 years, you had literally no access to this information. So yeah, you have to do some work.
like 18 years ago, give or take, the markets went through this big effort to essentially change terminology that they were using to make the options market more attractive and more digestible to individuals, because previously it was like a different language. It was like speaking Latin when you were talking about options, and they've really, really tried to make it more accessible to folk. So it's out there. Go and get it. This is a great time for people to learn and explore, and you can put $100 in the market, and nothing is ever going to motivate you more than your own money, right? So if it's $100, it's $100, but it's your $100, right?
Wait a minute now, Patrick. I'm very motivated by big booties. I'm really motivated. You know what I mean? Like ass and titties are going to motivate me a lot.
Well, what would help you get better access to ass and titties?
There you go.
You see that?
I like
Flipped
it.
it on you.
That's the mathematics. That's some street math. Like how do you get to the booty? Money will get you to the booty. Your charm will only go so far.
I mean, if you want to get access to that VIP area, you need that cheddar.
But there's no sex in the champagne room.
There's a lot of sex. There's head. There's anal. There's just swallowing. Patrick, you got a little time to stay on it with us?
Sure, I'll hang with you for a minute. Sure, yeah.
I know it's late your time. Sorry.
I'm in Chicago. It's 11 o'clock. I'll be all right.
All right.
Okay.
You working tomorrow?
Of course.
All right,
it's only Thursday.
So if y'all didn't know, I talked about Patrick a couple times on the podcast. I met him through a Brothers in Craft Brew group. And he used to live in Alameda. I'm about to grab a beer because I'm drinking a Truly. And
Me too.
I'm gonna grab a beer. But it was really cool to meet him in person. We only got to see each other like twice, and it was during the pandemic. And I had a special situation during the pandemic, so I couldn't really do anything. We traded various things like beer and glasses.
Beer and glasses, and I was in my driveway acting like I was Debo working out, and this dude pulls up in his fancy ass car. I'm kicking a heavy bag, and he pulls up in his fancy ass brown car, brown man,
I love that
to get some beer.
Love that.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, we traded some good beers. I wish you were here for longer. We could hang out more, but hey, I'll probably be in Chicago at some point in time. I think
I'll be out west in July.
Okay, cool.
Oh, nice.
I'll be able to hang out. So yeah.
Now you gotta school us on this, Patrick. Are you South Side or West Side?
In Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So first of all, I'm a New Yorker, born and raised. I've lived in Chicago for 10 years before I moved to Alameda. Chicago's been fantastic to me, but I am neither South Side or West Side. I am a North Side Chicago inhabitant because I am very into personal safety. The South Side and West Side of Chicago are rough.
Yes.
There's some great places there, and there's some rough places there. I don't fuck with none of them. I want them to improve, but I stay about a mile from Wrigley Field.
Ooh, I know that area.
Okay.
Yeah, that's nice. That's real nice.
We got to ask Patrick the real question. The question that everybody gets. It's been around for probably like 100 years. So is it New York style pizza or Chicago style pizza? You doing deep dish or the thin crust?
It's been around for 100 years, so it's about as old as you, huh?
Yeah, yeah, it sure is.
Talk.
I still don't even
There's not even a question, man. The New York style pizza is the truth.
Oh,
The deep dish is it's like we only ever eat it when we have guests.
Oh.
so you know
Yeah,
you can't even visit the South Side or the West Side. Then you stay
No,
in your
man.
bubble in Richmond.
So Chicago has Chicago. So deep dish is one Chicago style. There's something else called tavern pizza, which is super super thin. It's like a cracker.
Oh.
So like deep dish isn't even like the only Chicago style pizza. It's really not. There's other stuff. There's some great food here. There's some great people here. There's incredible bars and breweries here. It's a great place to live. Winters are rough as fuck, but it's overall a great place.
Yeah, as Juicy Smouye could attest, and whether that snow must be a motherfucker.
Dude, it's this past winter we had more snow than I've ever seen in my life. It wasn't like crazy cold for that long, but we had damn near 3 feet of snow on the ground at one point in time, and I've never seen anything like that.
God damn.
Yeah, you Cali dudes would just drop dead.
Yeah, I sure would.
You
Sure
step outside and just like,
Yep.
that'd be it for you. I'm gonna get a beer. I'll be right back.
Sounds
All
good,
right.
man.
What are we moving to?
Olga, you were telling us you saw this Quiet Place 2 real quick.
Yeah.
You dig it? You hate it? What'd you think?
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was just, I think I was more enthralled about being inside a very large enclosed place with a lot of strangers, but I had my mask on and I was in my leather seat, which was very creaky. The movie I enjoyed, even though I missed like maybe 6 minutes of it, I still enjoyed it. It was still creepy. The monsters were grotesque and violent, and there's a lot of people when they get fucked up like badly.
Wait,
And,
this is an R then, right?
I believe so. I mean, there's a good amount of blood and people getting like kind of ripped open a little bit. So I would have to say this is an R-rated film, even though they don't really cuss a whole lot. But I mean, you can still see them getting just ripped open, and like, there's a lot of dead bodies and people getting disemboweled. Like, and it's not a lot, but it's enough to when you see it, you're like, holy shit, this person got fucked up. So it's just, to me, it's just as good as the first one. I enjoyed it immensely. My first movie back. I'm probably gonna only see a handful of more movies in the theaters, but it was good to. I'm saying this out there, just like Cronus had put out there. I'm already invested in the Fast Saga. I've seen every single one in the theater already. I'm always there opening weekend. I'm gonna be there for this one too, opening weekend. I think like the end of the month, end of June. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna watch it. I've even saw the. I think I was the only one out of y'all that saw Hobbs and Shaw. I saw that in the theater too.
I saw it. I'm invested, bro.
Yeah. Well, did you see it in the theater too, or did you wait until it was on? It's on HBO Max, I think. Now.
I think I might have waited, but yeah, honestly, if somebody tells me that they don't like Fast and Furious movies, I'm like, you don't like life. Like they're fucking fun. They're fun.
Yeah, they are a lot of fun. They're so ridiculous. The ridiculousness makes it fun.
Yeah.
So I mean, they do put a little bit. I mean, they do try to put a little bit of heart and soul in it. A little bit like, oh, okay, there's some feeling here. But then they have crazy car action. They show a lot of really like exotic cars. A lot of cars that are not like in wide distribution. You get to see them on film, and it's great. It's fun. So, and then I'm gonna see. I'm actually gonna see John Cena on scene because I guess he's gonna decloak himself. I guess, and then fight. He's gonna be fighting. Riddick. So I'm down to see this.
Didn't Vin Diesel throw a missile at some point in time?
Probably.
He probably did.
What else do you need?
Yeah,
what else do you need?
Exactly. I mean, no, I need them to go to space. That's the next thing. They got to go to space.
They're going to space too.
Yeah, so done.
Driving cars on the moon, goddammit.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can do anything in movies. I don't care. Like, seriously. They make them so ridiculous, and they keep one-upping themselves. I'm like, what else can they do next? So you go to the multiverse? I don't know. You know, if it didn't, I would still watch it. I would still.
Yeah,
watch
I
it.
would too. Because they have a weird way of making it make sense. I'm like, this is so ridiculous, but it seems to gel together, and I'm here for it. I'm like cheering in my seat with my popcorn and shit. I'm like, this is great. I don't know why. I'm having a great time. This is so ridiculous, but it's so much fun. It's so great. I'm in for it, and it's great because because they keep adding people, and like they keep adding like huge stars, and I'm like, this is amazing. Next, they got to add Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep's got to be in one of these.
I love the fact I like going back to the original for whatever reason. I think I've probably seen that one more than any other. I'm just like they had big rigs transporting DVDs. Like that was that was hot cargo at the time, and I was like, God damn, this is weird looking back on its origins, but it's what kicked it all off.
It was DVDs, DVD players, and TVs, and
fatbacks.
And 18-wheelers. I'm like, damn, like nobody uses shit no more.
Go ahead, Patrick.
I will confess, I was a boy racer at the time. I had my little import racer car.
Shit!
What were you driving?
I lived in Queens, New York at the time. I was driving a 1999 Subaru Impreza 2.5 RS.
Oh, nice.
Damn!
That's
I love that shit. I loved it. Black with gold wheels. I love that car with every ounce of me.
Oh shit!
And I lived in Queens, New York, and the movie theater, I'll never forget it, was live. From sundown until 2 a.m. The parking lot was a car show. People were running in to see this movie and running out and acting the fool. It was like Mortal Kombat. Like when Mortal Kombat came out, everybody thought they were Liu Kang jumping off a mailbox. Everyone thought they were Dom Toretto in the parking lot of this damn AMC theater in Queens, and it was one of the most fun nights I can recall. People were just stupid.
Which waifu did you have like as a sticker on your car? Was it Sakura or did you have B2?
I will say
tell me about the waifu situation.
I as a point of pride never took one of these pictures. Never ever.
Well, now you did.
Yeah, shit. It was a different lifestyle, man. It was great, and I loved it, and I'd pay anything to go back to it for a week.
Nice.
Awesome.
Shit. Yeah, man. I can't wait for another fast. You said it's at the end of the month,
I believe so. It's the June 20 something.
God damn it. That might get me to go back to a fucking theater. God damn it.
That's what's gonna get me.
Yeah.
I'm invested. They already got my money. I'm in Lakeland.
The one I can't quite get over, and I know I briefly mentioned it like in some chats and shit. This Cruella shit don't make no goddamn fucking sense to me at all. Like, I don't get how you take a character that we all know skins puppies alive and loves it, and that's your hero. Like, I haven't seen it, I don't plan on it, but I don't get how you can even do that.
So
that's Michael Vick in a dress, basically. Like, what the fuck?
So to kind of rewind, just really quick, Fast and Furious 9 is out June 25th. So Disney's already done this with one of their other villains, which was Maleficent. Maleficent has 2 films, and she was willing to like kill a young girl over some crazy prophecy, and they had like this 2 movies where she's supposed to be the hero, but she's supposed to be the mistress of evil, and we have 2 movies that centralize on her, and they're doing it again this time with Cruella. So this isn't the first Cruella film. The first one was with Glenn Close. So they're doing it again with like this origin story.
Was the Glenn Close one? I didn't see it. Was that like a Dalmatian movie that had her in it, or was it a Cruella movie?
I believe it was a Cruella movie. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember the exact name. I can pull it up real quick. But I mean, this one is how she
first
started as a young girl. How she started coming after Dalmatians or whatnot. So,
apparently, Glenn Close is actually in Cruella, the 2021 version.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dog killing white lady. All right, let's go.
I mean, it's villains doing villain
weird
shit.
To me.
I mean, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
If he's obviously nobody starts off as a villain, right? Like, what made them a villain? I think that's what people are interested in. I probably won't watch this, to be honest with you, because I'm not, I watch too many kids movies already. I don't really give a fuck. So
I mean, I get, I love villains. I love villains. I just.
what's more villainous than that then? I mean, skinning.
Yeah, but
puppies,
I mean, villains for killing puppies. Like, I don't know.
So you're fine with villains killing people?
No, yeah, I don't have any problem with villains killing people because that's what they do. But like,
but puppies, it's like that's your line?
Your origin story is that puppy killing is something that you love, and this is how you got there. I don't know. That seems weird.
Hold on your scale of like puppies and humans, right? You would definitely kill a puppy before, right, to save a human's life, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's an either or, I get you. But usually, most rational people don't fuck with folks that are down for killing puppies and skinning them alive.
They're not down for
like
people either, though. I'm just saying, like, where's your
yeah? I
line
mean,
at?
nobody for the most part, nobody like defends someone who kills puppies just to make a coat.
I don't think they're defending like her killing puppies. I think they're just going to explain why she wants to kill puppies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That seemed like a defense. This don't seem interesting.
Hey, Dexter was a goddamn. Dexter was dope as shit, and he was totally valid on why he wanted to kill humans. I'm just saying, could be like that. What if puppies?
Wait, no, mommy? It couldn't be like that.
Know.
Wait, you're gonna tell me the puppies
what if they're all bad?
Killers?
You don't know.
The puppies are serial killers. Fuck that.
What if they are? You don't know.
Yeah, get out.
Puppies have done some dirt.
Yeah.
So Glenn Close plays Cruella de Vil in 2 movies, and it is the live-action 101 Dalmatians and its sequel 102 Dalmatians.
Okay, so they were Dalmatian movies, yeah.
Yeah, but she plays the same character, but she's already evil in that and trying to, I guess, kill puppies and whatnot. But still, this isn't Disney's first villain that they made a feature film about, so yeah. I'm not surprised at all. I mean, they put them center stage and make you kind of empathize with them, but they still want you to know that they're still bad people. I guess the biggest controversy that I have seen, because I have not seen this film, but I'm seeing people talk about it, and I guess the biggest thing is that the quote unquote the dog striked first, which got her to become a Dalmatian hater.
This sounds fucking awful. Like you hear yourself, right? Like
I'm just saying, I guess she gets bit by one of them, so now she wants to kill all Dalmatians or whatnot.
She's on solo now.
Yeah,
she's on solo exactly. Now. That's what we're going with on this one.
This seems weird, man. I mean, more power to them. If you love it, and here's the thing: if you love it, let us know. If this is the greatest movie ever and it explained her origin well, then fine. I don't know. It doesn't sound great to me.
What I don't understand is why you're hating on people that are willing to pay $30 to watch it at home.
I mean, it's your fucking money. You do what you want. I'm hating only because this movie doesn't even sound interesting to me. But you do what you want.
That's true. But I mean, you don't have to like come at folks just because they want to spend their $30. I mean, let them, I mean, no one says nothing about you for simping on Griffith, except for me.
I was gonna say you just did.
Yeah.
I mean, except for me.
And I'll talk shit too. Griffith definitely did a lot of things wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But Femto was the one that did things wrong. Griffith was just trying to get his kingdom.
He didn't rape his best. He didn't rape one of his friends and.
When he was Femto. He did.
That's still him, though.
That was after the sacrifice. No, that was after the sacrifice. That was after the sacrifice.
So everything he did after the sacrifice, you think he's fine?
He's justified.
It was he was no longer Griffith. It was Femto, the demon god.
No.
He's still a Femto. That's why you like him. Or Quasi-Fuda.
No.
Griffith did nothing wrong. Femto fucked up a few things.
Anyway.
Look at you moving goalposts once again.
Look, we talked about this in Fanime.
So hold on. So you go by Prodigy now. So if you do things wrong as Prodigy, you tell me that your real life personality wouldn't get in trouble and shouldn't be held responsible?
If there's an apocalypse and I've sacrificed the golden egg and
that you started?
the demon god, the demon hand gods say that I am reborn again as the fucking embodiment of the bird demon, then sure.
But you started the apocalypse. Like you lost the raw at the important part. You started the apocalypse.
Oh, he didn't start it. He made the sacrifice and made the wish.
The
And then
sacrifice. The sacrifice started the apocalypse.
it was going to start any goddamn way. You saw those demons? It was going to start anyway. Leave Griffith alone. And here's the other thing too. Griffith was literally saying to those everybody who was following him, the band of the Hawks, I will sacrifice you if you follow me. He told these motherfuckers straight to their face. I don't give a fuck about you. It's all about me and my kingdom. And they said, yeah, go ahead, Griffith. You're our man. Got what they fucking deserve. Fuck them.
You're a terrible person.
That's so bad.
I'm just saying.
Praise the White Hawk.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, Patrick. Let's pull you back in here. Since we have you up late as fuck,
sorry.
Is there anything you want to talk about? I think this might be the first time we pluck somebody out of the chat. And we had somebody drunk dial us once. That was hilarious. But
yeah, it was great.
Kevin.
Yeah. Well, he was in the chat to start, and then he drunked out because he got mad at Prodigy for saying some off-the-cuff shit.
Patrick?
So the one thing I'm really, really enjoying right now is they continue to tweak and play around with this Call of Duty Zombies. It's actually what I was doing. That's what I was doing when I started listening to the podcast this evening. I had you guys in one ear, and I was fucking some zombies up in the other ear. And now we got giants, and we got all kinds of crazy shit, little tiny things and giant, humongous things like Rambo and John Clane. They got all kinds of stuff going on in that game right now. And I got to say, I'm enjoying it far more than I ever thought I would.
We got to squad up, man. That's my favorite mode. I haven't even played the campaign because I love that mode so fucking much.
I haven't touched the campaign. I'm 100% zombies. That's all I care about. It's my my wife and I were watching Handmaid's Tale, which is some fucking crazy shit. Mm-hmm. And I needed to calm down, so I was like, I got to go kill some zombies.
I got to leave Trump's America.
That's like future state terrible America. So I'm just gonna go kill some zombies.
What's your loadout, man? Like, what's your primary? What are your perks? What do you like?
Oh man, I am been playing. I played with you once. I've been playing the machine gun, the light machine gun, and the explosive ammo more so than anything else. And the freeze aura thing. I'm enjoying the shit out of that game. I've never been into those games like this. That's all I want to do in the evenings. Once my kids go to bed and my wife goes to bed, that's all I want.
Yeah, I've been surprised too, because I buy all Call of Duties usually late, and this one I was like, it's black. I played a little bit of the campaign, and I was like, why do I have to keep installing the game over and over again to keep progressing with the campaign? It was so stupid. It was eating up so much of my PS5 hard drive. I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna like this game. And then Zombies dropped, and I started playing that. And I was like, oh. This is so much better. Like, I don't.
You're gonna give me a 40-foot tall zombie? I'm in.
Yeah,
I want to fuck him up.
So much fun. Like, I love how it's basically it's like a mini RPG. You progress, through the levels and stuff like that. You can make your weapons better. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I'm loving it. Every minute of it.
But now Hades is still in my time too. I got to Hades today.
That's my fault. I will take responsibility for that and for Timur. I will take those responsibilities on. I own them.
Great suggestion.
And I'm okay with it.
Yeah. That was obviously I watched the review. It got Game of the Year a couple years back. I was like, you know what? I don't know. And then you kept talking about it. I was like, you know what? Let me fucking grab this shit. So I downloaded it after playing Returnal, and I was like, oh, this is what a rogues-like game is. So let's see what it's like for this game. I was like, oh, this is honestly, it's a better rogues-like game than Returnal. So I think Returnal is kind of too harsh on when you die. In Hades, like when you die, you still have some progression. Like you have certain things that make you progress in the game to make you better the next time around. But Returnal is kind of more harsh about that. You only have a very finite amount of things that make you better on the next run through, and it's all randomized. And
it's got some personality.
Yeah,
the game has style and has some personality. It's the first Switch game that I've really, really enjoyed as a grown man. Like all the other Switch games I've been playing with my kids, and I think it's great for that. Hades is Daddy's game.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah, my daughter, she watched me play it. She watches me play, and she goes, "Can you play the diamond game? Because when you kill the bone serpent thing, like he uses the diamond."
Yeah.
And so she's the first time she saw me play it is when I killed him. She's like, "Oh, it's the diamond game." I'm like, "No, it's called Hades." She's like, "No, it's the diamond game." Okay, whatever.
She's right. She's right. I'm
Yeah.
gonna call it the diamond game from now on.
Yeah. But yeah, I
That's
think
all.
It's great.
I'm close to the end, but I'll keep playing it because it's totally randomized and it's so much fun. I need to like branch out with different weapons, so I just use the spear a lot.
I don't think you're close to the end. I don't know what the end of this game is because it gets. I mean, it's on and on and on and on. Like I don't know what the end actually is. I mean, I've gotten through a full loop many times.
Okay.
And it keeps opening up. It's not like there's a lot to it, dude.
Oh, good. That's even better then. Then I'll keep playing it. But I need them to drop either the Switch Pro or the PS5 version because usually the Switch is mainly for my kid and my girlfriend. But I don't bring it in the Infinity Base that often. I have recently because of Hades, but I need them to give me a reason to buy the game again or to buy another console to play it again. So. Yeah.
And they've already built in cross-platform saves. I don't know if you noticed that on the title screen.
I do.
I would absolutely buy it on the PS5, just so I can see it on the big screen and all that. So that would be cool.
That game looks dope, man. I definitely will get it once it drops on the 5 because it got a lot of buzz. It got a whole lot of fucking buzz. So I believe both of y'all that it's a solid title.
Yeah, it's.
You could also pick it up for 10 minutes and put it down.
Yeah.
Like you're not committed.
Yeah, that's
So.
that's especially. Well, sometimes it's funny because like I've never beaten a boss. Have I beaten a boss the first time? Maybe once, but usually I have to like get to a boss, figure out their patterns, and then come back and then beat them. And this is one thing that is actually a detractor from the game is that when you do a loop, you have to beat all the bosses again, like all of them. And then there's like variants. Yeah. There's variant versions of them. With Returnal, it's not like that. If you beat a boss, then that boss is done. You just have to find the right fucking door to go through to get to the next level, but you have to fight the boss again. But I can see the fun with beating the bosses. In Hades, the bosses aren't quite as difficult as in Returnal, because in Returnal, like your fucking palms are sweating every single time you fight a boss, because it's like it's for real. But yeah, it's the game. I give it a lot of accolades, so thanks for the suggestion.
Cool.
There you go.
All right, y'all. I'm going to sleep.
All right.
No problem, man.
Guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming out.
Appreciate it. Take it easy.
Yep, later.
Hang in there, man.
Hopefully y'all got educated on some shit. So
Yeah. Very insightful. Very
dope. Good guess. I picked up Streets of Rage 4 and started jamming that fucking game
late.
out. I'm way late, man. That shit is fun. It takes me right back to Sega Genesis days and all the fun that those old school games had. Like,
yeah, it's actually I think myself and Cronus, because you have it too, right, Cronus?
I do not. I don't think.
Who the hell else was playing it? Somebody else was playing it.
Maybe
besides.
it was Stitch or something?
It could have been Stitch, yeah. But we're playing it. I know I was playing it because I played it early on in the pandemic because I knew it was coming. And it was like, it's crazy because it's 4 players, like local. And I guess online it's only like co-op 2 players, I think. I don't think you can do 4 players online. But it was just fun sitting down with people that came over and just hammering it out. And then like when you beat the game, you unlock characters, and then like there's a huge Easter egg where you can play the original Streets of Rage 2 in the game if you go to this like arcade area. It was so awesome. Like there's a couple of like there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle like Easter egg in there too. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's really fun.
Yeah, it felt like if you liked Pilgrim and all of that, certainly play this one, and it actually feels a whole lot better than Scott Pilgrim. I think I played that one on the PS3 days, but way updated. I feel like this is one of the best beat 'em ups I've played in like maybe 5 to 10 years. It's fucking outstanding. So I was playing it with some folks online or whatever, or one person online, and I just want to keep playing it over and over again. It's short. You can beat it in like 4 to 6 hours. It's short as hell, but it doesn't matter.
Short. Yeah, there's also apparently there's DLC coming for the game.
Really?
So there's going to be DLC for the game pretty soon. If it's not out already by the time of this recording, I know it's on its way. So I'm like, it's going to just get more people to go back to it. I know that I unlocked a couple because I beat the game, I think maybe twice. Yeah, twice. Because I wanted to play with different characters because each character is way different than the other. Like, oh my God, it totally changes the way you play the game. So, it's just really fun, and it's great if you have like people over. If you have the kids, you give 4 controllers to the kids and let them have at it. Easy for them to be distracted while you're like barbecuing or whatnot. Easy.
There you go, man. Yeah, I definitely want to replay that one again, and I give it a solid fucking 8 or something, maybe even better. Let me beat it again. We'll see. Did y'all see the news? It's to no one's surprise about God of War.
Like,
Right.
Oh
Right.
yeah, yeah.
I'm fine with that. Like,
Yeah.
you can push it back to 2023, and I still wouldn't be mad. I don't give a fuck. Like, just
Yeah. I mean, for those who don't know, who haven't been paying attention, they announced that we would be getting a God of War. I think it is called Ragnarok, right?
Yeah, it's called Ragnarok.
Okay. At some point in 2021, they announced this, I think, early this year or late last year or whatever. Everybody, you can rewind the tape on this show, but everybody in the whole gaming world was saying, that's ambitious. It's probably not coming out in 2021.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, all of us were like, no way, especially with Horizon and the other titles that they have.
And the pandemic.
The pandemic, the new IPs that they have on PS5 and whatnot. We were just like, nah, it ain't happening. Just get it out of your head. And then the other thing is, I think that all they showed was like a title screen, not even a title screen, like a symbol, like a teaser shit on it. And we were just like, nah, if they had God of War Ragnarok, at least with a 5 to 10 second trailer 9-10 months ago or 6 months ago, then maybe we would have held out hope. But without that, I was just like, nah, this is at minimum a 2022, late 2022 game.
Yeah, that's fine. Totally fine. And like Quentin said, 2023, that's fine. So I can finish the first one because I still haven't finished it.
The first one was one of the greatest games of all fucking time. Seriously.
It's really good. It was really good.
I'm like maybe a quarter of the way through. I thought I was halfway through the amount of time I was playing, but I think I'm maybe only a quarter of the way through. But we'll see when I finally go back. But Prodigy, I got to put you on the spot here.
What's up?
I think you're the only one who may have witnessed this, but continuing with games, I guess there was like a little state of play of Dying Light 2. Did you watch this?
I sure as fuck did. Thank you for fucking asking. Y'all know I love Dying Light. That first one was just one of the best games from 2015. Wow, which is weird to say now. 6 goddamn years ago. But they added a shit ton of DLC. They kept adding maps. They had added DLC even last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and I was still playing as recently as early 2021 with people. But I saw this whole fucking trailer for Dying Light 2. I've been hyped for this. The fans have been waiting for 6 goddamn fucking years and shit. This looks incredible. It looks like we're going to get all the things that we fucking like from the first game with a few more bells and whistles. It's called something about B2 Human, or what was the subtitle?
I didn't even know it had a subtitle.
Something with human something. But
I'll look it up real quick.
the biggest thing for Dying Light that was so
was
cool
it Human
was...
Centipede?
Just
saying.
No.
But the biggest thing for Dying Light 1 that was so great was it was one of the first games that I had played that had that whole aspect of daytime is one thing and you feel like a fucking badass and you're parkouring and you're killing zombies. No big deal. You're having co-op fun. Then when the fucking nighttime hits, you fucking got shook. You wanted to run for shelter immediately because the big ass, scary, larger, more aggressive zombies would fuck you up. And so I love that aspect of things and being able to just kind of toggle between night and day and then just having a huge map to fucking play around with. So it looks like you have even more fucking melee kills or ways to fucking kill people. You still have different parkour skills. Like he seems more agile. He seems like fucking Spider-Man or some shit now. I couldn't be fucking more hyped about this. And they gave a fucking release date. It was December 7th, something like that, end of this year.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm all the way on board. I hope they fulfill it, but I hope it's ready at 2021. This is by Techland. And they haven't, to my knowledge, since Dying Light 1, they've obviously continued to support it with DLC, but they haven't had a whole lot of other games or titles per se. I think since Dying Light dropped, but I could be wrong on that. What do you say, Old Ninja?
So Dying Light 2's tagline is "Stay Human."
Stay human. That's it.
Yeah, and then I had a shit ton of fun with Dying Light. It was ridiculous how much DLC was in that freaking game. I was like, "Are you serious?" Like more, like I felt like every 2 months was DLC, big or small, either weapons or areas, new events. There was always something. It was fun with the multiplayer. There was a ton of Easter eggs, like a ton of crazy Easter eggs. Like even getting certain weapons had crazy names. Like they had the Excalibur in the game. It's literally stuck in a stone in the middle of like this little cove or whatnot. And you got to do these steps to get it out. It was pretty entertaining.
Do you remember the Mario World?
I don't think I got to the Mario World.
Oh shit! There was. I'm sorry. There was like a pipe that you go down into, and then literally it would look like Super Mario Brothers in like 3D. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't be, I'm not surprised. There was so many crazy stuff. I remember there was just I can't even think of the time. I remember the Excalibur one was crazy one. There was like the airstrike. I remember that was a huge like Easter egg people kept talking about, which you can really use just calling an airstrike on your spot and kill everything. It was a lot of fun. The what was it? The one with the crazy psychotic doctor at the stadium. That was super challenging, pretty challenging one. I can't think of the DLC name. I think it was
The Following. Probably.
No. Following was like a super expansion. No, there was the one with the there's this crazy like killer, and you have to like find him by completing his little obstacle course. And if you die 3 times, it reset. So it was like a pain in the ass. I can't think of the name right now, but yeah, that was super fun, and it was great because you can play with other people. The community was great because they were always trying. There was always like kids on there trying to help people like get the best weapons and get the dark weapons and stuff like that. So it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the sequel.
They have factions now too, and it seems like your choices will make some better decisions, at least per the trailer for Dying Light 2. Again, this one is probably my second most hyped one for the rest of this year. I think it's right after Horizon, possibly. But
yeah, Horizon was looking dope too. Jesus, people were complaining about the way that segueing a little bit. So you guys done with Dying Light 2? Sorry.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
People were complaining about the way Aloy looked in the Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
Stupid.
Yeah, she didn't look that much different to me. People were saying that she looked fat, and I'm just like, what? Like, she didn't really look fat to me. She looked like a normal person. And this is not me being like some fat apologist, I guess. There's probably some new age word for that. But yeah, she didn't look fat to me at all. She looked like a normal sized person. I don't understand where that all came from.
wasn't she basically like a late teen, early 20-something in the first game? I don't know her exact age.
I think
remember.
so, yeah.
Yeah, I want to say late teens. It's funny to me because the campaign or the hate or whatever the big complaint that I saw was that she looked too manly. And I'm just like, wait, what? She looks like Aloy to me from the first game. And what's funny to me is because Aloy is based off of a model. I think she's like a Polish model. And that's like saying that this model is mannish or whatnot. I'm like, have you guys seen this? Because she's an actress. She's a model and an actress. And I'm like, she looks just like her, just with like braided hair. I don't understand what these guys, like, someone was saying, like, I guess Sony doesn't know. I mean, granted, it's not even Sony. It's Guerrilla Games. It's making the game. But Sony doesn't know how to make, feminine females. They look too manly. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
I feel like... So I'm looking at images from, like... I looked up Aloy. And I feel like people that are propagating these images, they're making her look fatter than what I saw in the video. Because, like, some of these look like they don't look anything like what I saw in the video. And, even, like not at all. and I don't really understand.
Is this fan art?
I don't
Is it
know.
fan art though?
It's kind of everywhere.
I'm trying to look it up.
But like when I watched the video, she looked just like Aloy to me. Even if she did gain some weight, I don't really give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Like, does she play? Is she the same person in the first game? Does she have the same gameplay mechanics? I don't care. And I think people that do happen to care, if she did happen to look like she gained weight, which to me she didn't, but even if she did, it's like you're like part of the problem with like the world. Like seriously, if like a character looks slightly different from the last time you saw them, you're like, oh well, they're so much fatter now. They look more like a man now. No, they don't. At least not to me. When I first watched the video, it didn't look like that at all. And I feel like most of these are just doctored videos, and they're doctored stills, and it's just like, what is wrong with you? Like people are saying shit like this. The reason why people like Anita Sarkeesian exist because of you fucking dumbasses.
I will say that, I mean, Aloy in the first one, we all loved Horizon Zero Dawn when it dropped. What was that, 2017? She was not some sex kitten character. Like, I didn't get that vibe from her at all. Like, I don't even remember her having a whole lot of romantic interest. She was almost asexual in that game.
Almost.
Which was fine. I assume that the sequel, just based off the trailer, is going to be pretty similar to, in terms of her doing all the stuff with the bows and killing the robot dinosaurs. But that's kind of par for the course. Like, we've seen that with Tomb Raider. We've seen that even with Lost Legacy Uncharted or Last of Us 2.
Well, with Lost Legacy, it's they both talk about their romantic involvement, and in the game itself, they don't have romantic storylines. However, throughout the series, throughout the Lost or the Uncharted series, they've had romantic relationships with characters throughout the series. Right?
Well, but now I don't know if this is real. It's super hard to tell online, but I see one that says 2017 versus 2021. I mean, I don't know if 2021 is real or not. I could see that her cheeks are a little fuller.
Well, the thing is, hold on, I'm gonna try to mute this before it comes up. But like, as I'm watching the actual trailer, like, it doesn't look like when I first see her, they don't look like the actual images that were shown with like those stills. And I'm just like, I don't. Hold on, I'm trying to fast forward to like where I can actually see her. Yeah, this doesn't look like. Hold on, let me pull it up on the screen. People can see on the chat. That doesn't look like an overweight person. Like, and like when I see like these stills from some of these videos, they make it seem like she's like fat. I'm just like, no. First of all, it doesn't really fucking matter, unless like, not even unless anything. Fuck that. I don't understand the reason why they're doctoring these stills for her, and they're obviously doctored. And I don't get why they're doing it.
Yeah, I can't speak to, again, whether this still is doctored or not. The trailer doesn't quite look like that. You know, it is what it is. But she was never a super quote-unquote sexy character.
Yeah.
But I don't... Whatever Guerrilla does with the character for the sequel, I want it to still be this great, fun game. That's most important. But I'm also going to just be very honest, and consistent with what I've said in the past. I also don't have a problem with sexy characters either. You know what I mean? If Guerrilla went that route, that could be awesome too. You know, I love Lady D from Resident Evil. She became an internet sex kitten. I don't have any problem with that either way. But in this still, if it's to believed, the one that's comparing 2017 to 2021, I do see her face fuller in Justice still, but I don't know if it's accurate.
Let me pull up the actual, so you guys can see. Go ahead, Ninja. Go ahead and talk. I'm sorry.
So did you guys watch the state of play? It's like 20. It's like 18 minutes or whatnot.
Yeah.
So the still that the guy gets is from the state of play. So it's towards the end of the. It's towards the end of the demo, where she sees the guy from part one getting kidnapped and she's hiding in the bushes. And it's just this particular frame because she's hunched down and he captured that and he's like, well, she looks all chubby in this, or she looks manly.
It's just not.
I'm like, what? And I'm just like, she looks like Aloy to me.
Okay,
Oh, and to correct what I was saying earlier, Aloy is modeled after a Dutch actress. Her name's Hannah Hoekstra. There you go.
I'll pull up my thing now. See if you guys can see this presentation.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah.
But this is not like what they're. Hold on. I don't know why I'm saying it. I'm just getting nowhere. Okay, so if you look at this, she doesn't look like the photo that you're talking about.
Oh yeah, no.
And I'm just like, this is literally the same video.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's all choppy on like when it's because it's fucking 4K. Hold on, let me.
It's all good, but still, she doesn't look manly to me. She looks like she still looks like a young lady with lots of funky braids, and
yeah, like nothing about
she does
her.
cool shit.
Like all these doctored photos. Like, hold on, let me just so people can understand what the fuck I'm talking about. I'll show you the actual like photos that were obviously doctored from this, and it's just like, why are you doctoring these photos?
Maybe they want to prove a point, and that's what
Yeah, probably.
It's stupid. Like there's no point. Like they're literally lying about what they're talking about. Like somebody saying that,
Yeah.
I took a still, but the still is something that you modified like multiple times. Yeah, here goes one.
You got one?
Yeah, let me just upload it now. I can't stand shit like this. Pull up the whole window.
Yeah, I'm just like, why?
Here,
Like, it's like, really not.
This is
there you go.
Like that's not the.
Yeah, that wasn't from the showcase.
Yeah,
right.
Neither was this. Neither was this.
Yeah.
You know, none.
Yeah, the one on the right is the one I see the most. Yeah.
This. Like none of that shit. Like this is all Photoshop, and it's fucking gross. Like seriously, it's gross.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a fictional character. I know modeled after Dutch model or whatever. At the end of the day, it's a fictional character that either you're gonna buy and like the game or you're fucking not. But like I said, if they put her in a fucking bikini, I wouldn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like that's what Cruella wants to do. Game's fun. If she's sexy in it, great. But I don't absolutely need it or demand that either. I played the first one and I loved the first one. So, but if you're just literally going online to make her cheeks look more full than they actually are, then I don't get you.
So can we talk about the showcase really quick? Because we were talking about her aesthetics, but like, did y'all see like there's certain she can like zip line kind of now?
Oh yeah.
Where she's crawling up, she has this like it's like this Batman zip line thing where you can just shoot at like certain objects and then zip across, which would make traversals super fast. And then she has what do they call it? Like a light
kite.
Umbrella?
Yeah, it's basically a kite.
Yeah, it's like this electric like kite where she can float down and you can control your descent. Mm-hmm. And you can use it to like sneak up on people because like it's narrated by the director of the game. You talk about how you can use it to drop down on people and do a stealth kill, or you can use it to drop down on a machine and take it over and whatnot, or kill it. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. This is great. There's new mechanics that I like. And it looks like she has I think there's one more mechanic. Was there a whip involved? Someone had a whip. I don't remember if it was her or whatnot.
Well, she had this. Her staff was like super powered up.
Oh yes, her staff had more functionality to it. Also, in the original game, I never ever used a slingshot unless I absolutely had to, and which was for the trials. Mm-hmm. The trials, you were forced to use a slingshot. Now she has a slingshot that will like stick machines to slow them down, and I was like, oh, that's way more useful than any of the other shit that was in the original game. I would totally use that. And then you're fighting a machine elephant that had like multiple like attack modes. And
that was like a mammoth.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Can I just say this too? Again, nobody's played this game. It's not completely ready for prime time. It's not released and whatnot. If they add some function, which has been in plenty of other games, even GTA games, where there's like some role playing elements, and she is able to quote unquote overeat. That's fine too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I remember CJ in fucking GTA San Andreas. You could pump him up over 300 pounds of fat, or you could work him out to be as swole as Devo.
That's
you
what
know
I did
what I mean?
right away.
Fun.
I got Devo status. I'm just saying, I went to the gym every goddamn day. I'm like, he's gonna be Devo. Like, this is the way it's gonna be.
That shit was fun, and I don't care if they do that either. Like, that might be interesting.
You can do that in a Fable too. In Fable, you can like work out your character or whatnot. Whatever. Fable's a great game. It's funny because they had potions that would make you slim down if you got too fat. So you could drink.
It was a great Xbox. It's a caveat. I'm just saying, you got to give the the legal matters, because people got to know: is it your game or was it a great game on the Xbox?
It's a great game overall. How about that?
But yeah, I'm fucking hyped, man. This looked polished. This looked fucking gorgeous. It looked really, really clean. And the other thing is, there was some speculation prior to this that maybe Horizon would be pushed back. You know what I mean? Just like we talked about with God of War. Like we hadn't seen this much, and now it looks closer to completion than what we suspected before this.
Even if it gets pushed back, I wouldn't mind. If it's pushed back a few months, I'd be okay.
Honestly, I don't know I need Biomutant's on the way for me, but I have other games to play for now, and I think that there's still a lot of games out there. So for now, I think I'm okay. But yeah, you can't push back too many games. But obviously we have games to play, so it should be fine.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you this though, because this is something that's getting a little odd. It's not controversial, but people are scratching their heads in the gaming world. This one has been confirmed for both PS4 and PS5, and we know that PS4 has a huge install base, and PS5 is still difficult to get for some people. But when are we going to have the cutoff for new games are going to be primarily on this gen?
So I think people forget that every single time we have a new gen, the last gen is still around for a while. And I think this generation, or I'm sorry, the last generation, because I'm on the new generation, I guess, it's going to be extended. So I'm not going to see like significant, I don't expect to see significant game development drop off for the last gen, PS4, Xbox One, until I would say 2023. Seriously. Because
I would even say, yeah.
What were you gonna say, Old Ninja?
I would say maybe even 2024, just a year out. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, there's a lot of people that may not have the money to buy the new system, and then it's like, oh, well, we have PS4 and Xbox One in stock. All right. If you're looking, a lot of the games are coming out for both systems, so it's like, well, why would I spend that extra 100? I can save money, buy this other system, and still play this game, still get that experience. So,
and you know what? Let me just read off some of these games that are coming out this year, or that have came out. Some of them are kind of shitty, but they were still AAA games. Outriders came out. Halo Infinite comes out later this year. Resident Evil Village came out. Back 4 Blood comes out later this year. Which, if you're what was that game we used to like to play back in the day?
Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, it's basically Left 4 Dead. Hitman 3 came out this year. Psychonauts 2 is coming out. Far Cry 6 is coming out. Dying Light 2 is coming out. There's a new Rainbow Six Quarantine, a new Lego Star Wars, Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West, Deathloop, Ratchet and Clank, a new world. There's a new Warhammer 40,000 game coming out, which is they're very hit or miss. God of War Ragnarok just got pushed back. The Medium, Scarlet Nexus, Little Nightmares 2, Returnal that came out, which we talked about before. No More Heroes 3 on the Switch, which I'm going to get. Ghostwire Tokyo, which pretty much nobody's fucking talking about, which looked great to me when I first saw it. Cyber Shadow, Tales of Rise, Crimson Desert, Destruction All-Stars, which wasn't that great. Monster Hunter Rise, which is on the Switch, I believe. Riders Republic, the Evil Dead game, and the Gunk and Bright Memory. I think it's called Infinite or something like that. So there's still a lot of games coming out this year.
Wait, they didn't even list the Alien Fireteam game, because that's supposed to be out pretty soon, actually. I think July or
Well,
August.
that's another one. So we have games to play. On
Yes,
both
we do.
generations. And let's not. People talk about that they're still developing for the PS4, but it's like, yeah, but all the PS4 games I can play on fucking PS5, and it looks better.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So and there's a free upgrade usually when they figure out all the kinks and shit like that. So don't
No.
don't be like totally down on the 2021 gaming picture. We'll be fine.
Not to mention, because that was a great list, Kronos, but we are getting Final Fantasy VII Remake DLC, huge DLC with what's her name? And then we're getting Last of Us 2 possible factions, or
I haven't
DLC.
I have not seen any confirmation on any of that shit. So.
There has been confirmation that we're getting Last of Us 2 upgrade and some form of DLC. We don't know whether it'll be factions or some standalone additional campaign stuff or both. But all I'm trying to say is big games from last year, and you already mentioned Streets of Rage 4, big games from last year continue to get support is my larger point. That, and we also talked about with Patrick, Call of Duty fucking Black Ops Zombie keeps fucking adding shit. So, you shouldn't
which is
be a
on
bored
both
gamer.
systems. Yeah.
You shouldn't be. You should never be saying you're a bored gamer. I don't have any problem with them making games that look, look like last gen for the PS4. PS4 was an incredible generation, and then you can still play it on the PS5 and it'll look a little better. I'm down with that, but I will say because it's so hard to get a PS5, I'm okay with new games dropping for both indefinitely. I think you're right. I think it's going to be all the way through the end of 2022 and beyond. So especially with that install base, you know what I mean. There's so many goddamn people with PS4s. They want to tap into that fucking market, and so I'm fine with it. It is what it is. All right. Where else are we gonna fucking go? Shit, we've gone all over the fucking place. What else? You said something, old ninja?
I did. It wasn't on the list, but I totally forgot it now, and it's something that's coming out pretty soon. You have to go to something else to come back to me.
Okay, shit.
I totally forgot because it's something huge that's supposed to be out this weekend. Hang on.
No, that's fine. We'll talk about something here in a second. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up the logo while I'm speaking because I need to pull up an actual video.
We got show and tell.
Need to remind people of certain things. I'm just saying.
Okay.
How do I get this back down? Sorry, I was messing up. So yeah, Father's Day is coming up, y'all. It's coming up, and we all have fathers, I hope, unless you're like Cal XY, or that's a throwback anyway, or maybe somebody that wasn't around. But if you have a father that you love, we have a pretty good present that you could possibly give them, and it's a pretty dope candle from Ibeji Oil Candles. And I'll pull up their whole. They did a graphic for us, which is pretty dope, and they didn't really have to do this, and I think it's pretty awesome that they made like an actual graphic of us and them doing a Father's Day exclusive promo to save, I believe it's 15% now through June 30th. And it is V as in Victor, D as in Delta, 638, N as in November. Once again, that is V as in Victor, D as in Delta, 638, N as in November. We'll have all the stuff in the description of the video. Basically, they are making a really cool Father's Day collection of candles and various other things, which I'm going to pull up right now. Here is the Father's Day collection. This is the actual candle for Father's Day that they have. It looks fucking dope. I need to remind K-Mac to, get that for me. Definitely get that for me, K-Mac. Because I want this candle. I'm going to describe it to you. It looks like it's the actual candle holder, I guess to say, is it's really cool because it's black and it has a gold rim around it, and it has like this like geode kind of look to it at the bottom. It's really cool looking. I don't know the scent. I haven't smelled the scent yet, but I know it looks dope. And all their scents that I've smelled so far have smelled really good, and their whole like collection. Let me see if I can go back as I'm speaking. But they have a Father's Day collection, which is more than just the candle. They have honey butter soap, cocoa butter melts, which I helped them sort of. I tried the first version of it. It was good, but they have a better version now. They have salt scrubs. Our candle, yes. There's the blackest of the blackest of the black musk candle that we have. They have a body oil, and then obviously the candle that I just showed you. So they have, and there's another bath and body oil. So if you have a dad, maybe he smells bad, maybe he doesn't, maybe it can smell better. I'm just saying, this is an excellent thing to get to him for Father's Day. Something that probably isn't going to be expected, but they make fantastic candles. Also, my sister and my sister-in-law. That's the company. That's Ibeji Oil Candles. So if you don't know what to give your father for Father's Day, stop getting him socks and fucking ties.
Ties.
Yeah, stop it. Get him something cool, like some of these candles. Like Prodigy has one up. This is our actual candle. It's a real thing, and the candle that we have, you can actually customize. So if you want to get my name on it, you can. This one says Cronus, but you can actually customize it to whatever you want. You can say your name on the label if you wanted to. So, and they're fantastic. So yeah, support them, support us, and support your fathers for Father's Day. Goddammit, stop giving them bullshit.
Love it. Love it.
Really quickly, it's been on the list. We didn't talk about it yet, but the Masters of the Universe animated reboot.
Oh yeah.
With Kevin Smith executive producing, like his whole family's in this, but the cast is actually pretty impressive. It's not a trailer, but there's been a ton of stills. They're out there on Entertainment Weekly. They posted like probably 15 or more stills about what's going on. I think there's a little interview on there with some of the creators. Did y'all see this? What did y'all think?
Saw it. Fucking loved it, man. This is a Netflix production. I think it drops June, later this month, June? Or is it July?
I want to say July. I can give you, keep going. I'll give you.
It's either June or July. It's coming up soon, but god damn, this art is fucking impressive. It looks, super detailed with Skeletor and He-Man and all, the tiger, the cat. Everybody looks like just high definition, super detailed, and really colorful. I mean, again, She-Ra was never my thing. I think this art looks just flat out way better than She-Ra ever did. But this looks way better than obviously any version of He-Man. This looks quite fucking impressive. It has me fucking hyped. I'm all the way on board just based on the art, not even hearing or hearing and seeing the fucking trailer yet. I'm on board.
So this drops July 23rd of 2021.
Nice, okay. And you said it's going to be on Netflix?
Yes, it's Netflix exclusive.
Okay, no, that's good. So I remember back before the horrible version of Thundercats that I'm not going to talk about on Cartoon Network, there was a previous version on Cartoon Network that was dope as fuck. That had very good as well. And I don't know why they didn't make more of those, because it was a super deep story. People died in the very beginning, and he had to get back to his to glory. And it was a great story. It was great artwork, great action, and it just didn't last. So hopefully, He-Man on Netflix will last. I think they still need to do Thundercats right in this day and age. I think that if they made hopefully if He-Man makes it, then Netflix will start picking up more of those old style shows and like making it better, just like they did with Voltron. They did a great job with Voltron. I mean, they got to the right people. The people that were from Avatar, So you can't go wrong with I think it's Joaquin Dos Santos.
Which we interviewed. Blue interviewed at WonderCon. You can check out the interview on our YouTube channel.
Great dude.
There you go.
Great dude.
Did y'all see who's in this though? Like, oh my goodness! Like, you have Kevin Conroy in this. We got Sarah Michelle Gellar, Mark Hamill, Phil Lamar, Leanna Headley, Jason Mewes, Henry Rollins, Alicia Silverstone, Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith. I mean, just like ridiculous. And if you watch Supergirl, the guy who plays Mon-El, Chris Wood, he is He-Man. So
it's so funny. Like every time I think about He-Man, there was a book that I was reading, and it was like where people from Earth got transported to like a different place. That's like an RPG. And this guy met a person that was named. He kept calling him Hemin, And
What?
because I was listening to like the audiobook, and he kept calling him Hemin, and the guy goes, "Oh no, my name is He-Man," and he goes, "Like the Master of the Universe," and he goes, "By the power of Grayskull." It was fucking hilarious. So yeah, that's The Land by Dr. Aileron Kong, one of the best RPG books out there. So read The Land.
Real quick, this is Powerhouse Animation Studio.
Oh shit!
So for those who don't know, they gave us the incredible fucking Castlevania, and that's season 4. Man, did they end it? They stuck the landing. Seis Manos, which we talked about, that was really, really good, and probably some others, but we definitely praise Castlevania and Seis Manos a whole lot on here. No wonder it fucking looks incredible. I'm already impressed.
Yeah, the animation just from the stills looks fucking A1. I can't wait. I love Kevin Smith. Usually everything he touches, I try to watch. But like the voice cast alone has got me hype. I can't wait for a trailer.
You know who's Skeletor, right?
Yeah, it's Mark Hamill.
Oh,
Mark
sorry.
Hamill.
You said it. Okay.
Shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, I'm already on board. I've been had on board. You got Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy back together again in another animated show. I'm on board. I'm all about it. And I haven't heard from Alicia Silverstone in forever, but they got her on board to be the queen. I'm all about it. I'm gonna be watching this for sure. Day one. Y'all see that next week Loki drops? It comes out on a Wednesday.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. I'll
so
check it out. I mean, obviously not on Wednesday, but I'll check it out.
yeah, I'm probably gonna watch it Tuesday at 12:01 because I'll probably still be up around that time. Right? Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's out in the middle of the week because normally I figured it'd be on a Friday, but no, it's gonna be out by Wednesday next week, and we're getting a new Disney Plus TV series, so it's gonna be interesting to see.
I love. We've always liked Tom Hiddleston as that character. We'll see how this one goes. I think we saw him in Endgame. Yeah, he was in Endgame.
Yeah.
So it's been a minute since we've seen him doing his thing. He's gonna be mischievous as fuck, and we'll see what the fuck. We don't know what type of show this is gonna be, but I don't want to know. I just want to go in kind of blind and fucking find out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it should be interesting to see what new characters they bring in. So should be interesting to watch. Can be a good watch.
I got a quick shout out to something that has, or actually two, that has impressed the fuck out of me, and I think Kronos saw one of them, at least. Have y'all seen this High on the Fucking Hog on Netflix?
I watched half of the first episode, but accolades. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, and I haven't quite finished it. I'm almost at the end. This series, I thought it was all going to be about like just soul food and like regional soul food in the Southeast and the cooking and whatnot. They go back to fucking Africa, West Africa, Benin with this. And then, like, trace the origins of food. Finally, explain the difference to me between a yam and a fucking sweet potato. We do not eat fucking yams over here. They don't really grow over here. So that was quite enlightening for me.
Technically, you can get them.
Yeah, but they don't look like sweet potatoes.
No, they're fucking gigantic. And it's also how like you can get steroids through yams. That's how they beat. It's a little bit of a. If you're into like performance enhancing drugs, a little bit of history for you. This is how they started to beat the PED tests like back in the days because they figured out how to get steroids out of yams instead of getting it from like a meat product, and it tricked like the test for a while. Not that I've done steroids, which I definitely have not. I'm just saying.
But yeah, a lot of culture, a lot of history. I was quite impressed. I didn't think they were going to go that deep into fucking cultural ties and history from West African tribes. And the guy does like a walk on the first episode that was like the 4-day trek in bondage with slavery from where they were captured and sold to the ships and the docks. And I was like, whoa. And he gets emotional on there. It's quite impressive. I literally thought it was all going to be about sweet potato pie and fucking chitlins and shit. No, this went pretty hard. What y'all think? Or what do you think, Kratos?
No, I mean, I definitely liked it. I like how they went super historical about it. And I think, there's going to be clowns that are going to be out there. They're going to get mad about why they got to show him, walking ball. I'm like, because it's still relevant. And the fact that somebody comments on to make it invalid about what happened, that's the reason why we need to keep bringing it up. Like, I understand that even some, people of African descent, they're tired of hearing about how we were in bondage before. But it's like, when we're talking about these things, it's not necessarily for other people of African descent. It's for everybody else to remember that what happened to us was fucked up, and it still affects us to this day. And so if it affects your mental health to like listen to these things, if you're from African descent, like I totally get it. You don't have to watch it. But I hope that more people that don't look like us watch it, so they understand what the fuck we went through and how it wasn't just like a one-time deal, and the fact that these things propagated throughout American history and we're still affected by it today. And we are, all of us are, on some way, shape, or form. We were stolen. They used us to build this country, and when we eventually did get to build up ourselves, this is the truncated history. Sorry. They destroyed, they destroyed our places where we lived, our whole communities, even whole towns, whole cities. We just had the Tulsa, they call it the race massacre, but it wasn't really a race. It was only upon one race. You know what I mean? It was upon people of African descent that made something in the Greenwood neighborhood in Tulsa, and they got massacred because they had too much money, and they burned down everything that they owned, they robbed them of everything that they had. And then we had to start from scratch, again. And this is only like 100 years ago, and people are still alive from them. And people want to talk about, oh, it was too long. It was such a long time ago. No, the fuck it wasn't, because it affected definitely me and Prodigy's parents, Old Ninja's parents. They might have been fucking.
They were slaves.
Yeah,
they were slaves.
This is before slavery. But yeah, I mean, it definitely affected like where our parents could live, what they could do. How much wealth they could amass, and the fact that either our parents amassed any kind of wealth was extremely fortunate, and then to work definitely a lot harder than a lot of people had to. And so every time I see these things where they have to reenact some of these things, and like I don't get uncomfortable with it anymore. I used to get uncomfortable with it, but I don't anymore, because like people need to remember these things.
I had no idea that the entire economy of South Carolina was built on rice, not cotton, but fucking rice. And, West Africans knowing how to cultivate and really farm rice extremely well. They called it, what was it, Carolina Gold or something? That was like the backbone of like, basically the way they explained it on this, South Carolina would have never been a state without this one crop. And slaves cultivating it and making it work. And when slavery ended, guess what happened to the crop? It pretty much disappeared almost. Nobody else knew how to do anything with it. There was one guy in this High on the Hog that's trying to bring it back now, but it's supposed to be one of the most famous forms of rice throughout the world, and it was exported all over the place, made billionaires in today's money out of really plantation and slave owners in South Carolina. I had no idea. I'm someone who tries to read about history and learn as much as possible. I had no idea how important this one crop of rice was to South Carolina before High on the Hog. Watch this shit. This shit is great. And then I got one more. I'm not done with it, but holy shit. There's a fucking documentary series on HBO Max called Exterminate All the Brutes. It's based on It's based on a non-fiction book written by, I don't know his exact country of origin, but he's a European guy. The director is the same Haitian American man that made I Am Not Your Negro, all about James Baldwin, and he's done a whole bunch of other things. Look up his name so we can put that out there. But this one goes fucking deep, all about the origins of really European genocide and genocidal practices. It goes extremely deep. It goes back to the some of the origins with the church, and it talks certainly heavily about the Native American population and what was going on with hundreds of millions, and the purposeful stuff with not only slavery and colonialism. It goes a whole bunch of areas. I highly recommend watching it. There are some areas that are hard to watch for some people and very sensitive. However, it's extremely important to know some of this history because he makes connections that I didn't see. And this is coming from a book that a European author made several years ago. And he's in this fucking documentary as well. Exterminate All the Brutes talks about the mentality where you dehumanize people and you say, it's okay to kill these people and take their land or force these people to work or just put them in gas chambers. And some of the mentality and origins of that important for everybody, every human to fucking see. Sorry, go ahead.
The filmmaker's name is Raoul Peck.
There you go.
And he's Haitian, so I know I got the right guy. And yeah,
Mhm.
he made I'm Not Your Negro. He's making another one called Young Karl Marx. Well, he made it in 2017, but it's in French, I believe. And yeah, and Exterminate All the Brutes. So and yeah, what if you read enough literature that I am now reading over the past couple of years, and Prodigy is well versed in, probably Old Ninjas too, because y'all both went to HBCUs. I did not. Is that you're seeing that there's like certain practices that they did and certain techniques that they used as Europeans to just like totally oppress people and like make it seem like we weren't even people, and it's just like I don't know. This is when like people talk about white guilt. I mean, this is where it gets down to, because I think people understand that on some level, people's ancestors treated people like shit, and even to today, like when people like totally ignore human rights violations, and just like totally treating people like total garbage. And like we talked about it before, I'll just touch upon it real quick, like with the whole Palestine-Israel thing. Like that is the whole that's a whole European thing of like treating people like garbage, like they're not humans, that they're subhuman, and that's your excuse, to do whatever you want to them. And it needs to stop. It really needs to stop. If it doesn't stop, you're going to keep seeing strife throughout the world. You're going to keep seeing wars. You're going to keep having terrorists. It's not going to end until people start treating people like human beings. But if you come from the aspect of, oh well, they shot some person shot a bullet, so I had to kill 100 of them. That's not how you win. It's not. It's not how you fix anything. It's not how you even have a productive conversation. You need to understand why the person that did that, and is your response an appropriate response?
There are people even today who idolize how the Native Americans were treated in the Western Hemisphere in terms of really extermination, almost to completion, purposefully, and then stealing land and pretending like nothing ever happened. And again, I know that's an ugly ass subject. I know it's not fun and jokey, but this one, even for me, opened up my eyes to just connections, because I didn't quite realize, or maybe I just lost it in my memory, like just how much that was state sponsored and monarchy sponsored by European powers. Like literally both the most powerful institutions in Western Europe and almost every single country just said it's okay because they're not human. That's what I want to say.
The way that they would phrase is that they were savages.
Yep.
And we were civilized. So because they're savages, they're not going to know any better. So we need to rid the world of these savages, or introduce civility to them. And if they don't understand it, then they need to be obliterated or pushed aside, or whatever kind of basically whatever kind of resources you had, they were going to try to take. So they're going to use whatever kind of nomenclature to make it legal and all this stuff. So
it's sick stuff. And again, I know it's not happy go lucky stuff, but watch it. It's only a 4-parter, like an hour episode each, and I would say you're going to take breaks, but watch it.
So
yeah,
there's a go ahead.
Yeah, there's just something I want to just throw in there real quick. There's something that I used to parrot, a while back. It's like, well, the Europeans didn't invent slavery. Like no, they didn't. But then like after I'm doing like all this, reading all these books and shit like that, the slaves in other countries were vastly different from specifically the North American slave trade. Specifically that. Like slavery in Africa was not if you had kids, your kids were born in bondage too. I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna mutilate you, I'm gonna do all these horrific things to you. That didn't really exist in other countries up until the North American slave trade. So there's a really
Correct.
good book called The Interesting Narrative. The Interesting Narrative of the Life of I'm probably gonna fuck up this guy's name, but it's Aloda Aquino or Gustavus Vasa, and he was an African slave who was a slave in Africa. Then he got sold into bondage into America, and it's just like hearing his story about like what it was like to be a slave in Africa, and then to be a slave in the Americas. Holy shit! And then I was also watching like I'm gonna try to change my the words that I use when it comes to like enslaved people. I was watching a lady who is a reenactor. She's of African descent, and she was talking about how she's no longer gonna call somebody like a slave. She's gonna call them enslaved people, because I think that what a lot of people do when they hear about slaves in America, it's like it sounds like it was an option. You know what I mean? Like it sounds like it wasn't like really a big deal, but it was a choice. It's not a fucking choice. They were enslaved. They were enslaved people. And I think that if we just change that verbiage when we talk about enslaved people, especially in the North American slave trade, then hopefully it would do some good. People can actually look up like, what do you mean enslaved? Like, how are they enslaved? And that's when you get into like all the the real brutal parts of European brutality on Africans and other ethnic groups across the world. So go ahead on Ninja.
I was gonna say there's actually a lot of interesting documentaries on HBO Max, not just about the ugly slave trades and whatnot, but there's other ugliness that is more recent, like the one with Patton Oswalt's wife and the Night Stalker killer. I actually ended up watching that one. That one's also a four-parter. That one was kind of an eye opener.
Wait, what's it called?
I don't remember what I think it's a quote. It's weird because it's a quote that the Night Stalker said to one of the women before he raped her, basically about you don't matter, basically about how you don't matter. I can do what I want, because at the time he had power and nobody knew who he was, but he turned out to be a very influential person within the community, because he was a sheriff, I believe, or because there's two Night Stalkers.
I think I found it. I'll Be Gone in the Dark.
Yes, that's it. That's the one on, and that's the one where Patton Oswalt's wife was investigating for. She was writing a book, and she ended up migrating her book, which was, I guess, semi-autobiographical, which turned into this investigation to the Night Stalker, or the quote-unquote original Night Stalker, because there's more than one.
Yeah.
And she was going after that one. There's also the sex cult documentary, the one with the actress from Smallville, is on there.
Yeah, old girl,
yeah. That one's a four-parter. I don't know what they're called. And there's another one with Lisa Ling from The View, or formerly from The View. She has like an interesting. That one's kind of about race, being like an Asian American traveling through the U.S. because I guess she does some traveling. I was watching the trailer. It looked very interesting. That one's also a four-parter. So don't sleep on some of these documentaries. Actually, if you have HBO Max, there's some very interesting ones. There's a lot more on there. There's a couple on there, I think, about other serial killers. There's the Ted Bundy one. That one's on there. That one was pretty messed up because they go real in depth. They talk about like his daughter a little bit and like all the crazy stuff that they did. And it when I was watching it, it gave me this huge insight into white privilege. And a lot of people were like, well, that didn't exist back then. Well, if you watch this documentary, you can clearly see that it was prevalent back then, because when they're talking to investigators and they're talking to this guy, like when Ted Bundy would kill people, he like would talk to people like, you know, just right after, and no one believed that he did it because he was clean cut. He was like apparently a good looking white dude. He wasn't what everyone thought a serial killer would look like. He looked too clean. He looked like he came from a good family or whatnot. But this guy was raping and killing women, leaving their bodies on tracks or on like hiking trails and in college dorms and stuff. He was brutally killing them, getting off on it. It's a 4-part miniseries. I don't know the exact name on there, but it's pretty easy. You can look it up. All that stuff's on there.
God damn. Okay.
So, hold on, before we go forward, Prodigy, there's something you probably should have said at the beginning of this podcast that you didn't even talk about. You had some. If you don't want to talk about it, you can say so.
Yeah, let's save it just a little bit. Let's save it. Yeah.
Well, oh yeah. So we gave you little jibs, but didn't you have a birthday recently or something? Didn't you get older or fatter or something?
You know, look, I'm getting up there, so you know, I get older all the time. It is what it is, you know.
Yeah, see, you too busy with your food gangbang. I see.
No, that's only on Friday.
Too many food loads. Got you all tongue tied.
Yeah, see, my eye got fixed. You know, I'm aging backwards. No, I had a birthday. Glad to be the age I am. I'm in my 40s now. I'm deeper into my 40s. It is what it is. But yeah, just glad for that. And I definitely will drop some big news. But let's wait a week or so.
So, just so you know, I'm rearranging. Just so you know, so that's why the camera is somewhere different now.
Oh yeah, it is a different angle. You're absolutely.
I'm preparing for things. So
there we go.
Maybe we'll announce it on that day when you probably know what I'm segueing to, but I'm not gonna say it on the podcast, but you can say it, I guess, when we're ready, because I think we're all ready at this point.
Absolutely, we're getting there. I'd say we wrap it on up for this one.
I'm good with that.
Old Ninja, what you got populating this week?
So, I'm continually watching The Bad Batch because the Star Wars show on Disney Plus. So, it's been out every Friday. I've been heavily balls deep in Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I just finished part 2 today. Probably going to start part 3 tomorrow, maybe even tonight. We'll see. I'm just having great fun. I just remember how great Mass Effect 2 was because as soon as I finished it, I wanted to start it again. And like there was so much DLC in the game, but it was still, to me, it was just not enough. I wanted more when I beat the game. It's super crazy. But then I remember there's a whole nother game after Mass Effect 2, so I need to get to that. I'm looking forward to Loki. I want to see how this goes. I'm interested to see what's up. Also, kind of a PSA. PSA. So, Star Wars Squadrons is free on PSN this month. All these people that are talking about they're going to play, they're going to get it sometime. Now you have no excuse because on the Xbox it's also on Game Pass. It's been on Game Pass for since it dropped almost. So. You can get it in either system at a very low rate, either free or for $1 or whatever. Check it out. You can get on our Discord or whatnot, and we can set up a play date because you can play up to 5 people. You can set up private matches now, so you can have a huge battle with just people we commune with and whatnot. It should be fun. We will Twitch it out if this happens. It'd be great fun. We would like for to game with all. So join the Discord, get acquainted. Ask to play so we can shoot you down with lasers and whatnot.
Did you say ask and play?
Oh, that's what. Wait, what? None of that came out. You just hoping. See, this is that reminiscence from your Fuda birthday. That's why you're still on that high.
That's intense, man.
Yeah. Stupid. Shut the. Just playing that. I might get back. I already played through No Man's Sky. Their new expedition started. I might start the new one just to get ahead a little bit because it was really actually a lot of fun. And then when you got to the end, it really didn't take that long, but it was still a lot of fun. And it's great to have other people play. It's a cross-platform game now, so you can play with anyone from any system. So, that's another one we may have people play with. We'll see. But yeah, so just some Mass Effect, some of the damn. What else was I doing? Yeah, lots of Mass Effect, Loki, and Bad Batch, pretty much.
Cronus, what you got?
Yeah, I'm enjoying playing Hades, and trying to get. I'm getting on Squadrons. I played like the first demo, not the demo, but like the first level, which is like how to basically fly a fucking TIE fighter. Which I know I do that. So next time I play for a little bit longer. Today I was just cleaning. I took a day off and I not cleaned out my garage, but I rearranged most of my garage. Oh, there are some comics that I got that were kind of cool the other day. So the 25th issue of Black Panther with the Ta-Nehisi Coates came out the other day, and I got some variants. So that's one of the variants, which is pretty dope looking. This one is the Patrick Gleason variant, and then I also have the Peach Momoko variant as well. So
That looks dope.
yeah, so they're really cool variants. Yeah, I'm still reading comics. Obviously, I'm behind a little bit. I have to pick up some comics tomorrow. But yeah, I was not reading. Well, I wasn't reading them at a good frequency for a while, but now I think I have a good system to like catch up on comics and like keep current with the ones that I want to. And yeah, I'm taking like a week off at the end of the month to do some other stuff. So looking forward to seeing you all again, hopefully soon, because we're all vaccinated now, so we can come into the same building. I was trying to buy a fucking. So I work for a very large corporation, and they're closing down their offices because COVID happened, and they're like, we don't need those offices, so they're having a sale on like office equipment, and like they had a bunch of conference center tables, which actually kind of matched the floor to the Infinity base. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna get one. I had to make sure like one that would fit in here for the rest of you guys, because the desk I have now, it's good for a single person, but not necessarily for a podcast for guests. And I waited too long. I waited like a 2 days, and then everybody bought literally fucking everything. I was gonna buy a refrigerator because they had this big ass Samsung refrigerator. It was fucking dope, but it was like 36 inches wide, and I couldn't fit it. I'd had to like deconstruct part of my house and like reconstruct it, so I couldn't get it. And I was gonna get that fucking table, and I waited too long, so I didn't get it. But yeah, we'll still have a podcast soon in the Infinity Base, and hopefully you guys like what I did with the place, and hopefully I can make room for everybody else. But I'm looking forward to seeing you all again, because we're all vaccinated, and we have no excuse not to see each other now.
There you go. I'm going to say I'm catching up with a whole lot of fucking great comics. Amazing Spider-Man is excellent right now. Really quickly, J. Jonah Jameson gives Spidey, Peter Parker, a fucking suit that has a VR app in it, and literally you can log in on your fucking phone and then tell Spidey what quips to use. And Spidey does it because he's broke as fuck. I love that. That fucking works real well.
Literally fucking PlayStation 4 Spider-Man. Or actually, no. Miles Morales Spider-Man. Yeah, the Spidey app, where, you guys report crime and I'll show up.
Yeah. Hold on. What is a PS4? I don't.
Big elitist. Last Ronin. I picked up from the comic shop over the weekend, number 3. And then I just got an email saying I think number 4 is available next week or something. So they're starting to crank those out. That's one of the best series going right now. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Last Ronin. Certainly fucking read that goddamn shit. Playing a whole lot more Streets of Rage. I'm going to finish off Exterminate All the Brutes. And I'm just trying to fucking keep on living. Old Ninjas take us out.
Now that you're sold.
Dang. Yeah. It's we didn't talk about Rangers of the Republic, how that shit got canceled. We gotta talk about that next week.
Save it.
Because Gina Carano didn't fucked up. But anyway, you just experienced Black and Black Times Infinity.
Titty meats.
The Dankest podcast on the internet. Check us out anywhere and everywhere you can listen to podcasts with Bees and BTI. That's BTHAN BTI. Check us out. Like I said, we have a Discord. You can email us at beatsandbti@gmail.com. Let us know you want to get in the Discord. You can put it in the subject matter. Be like, oh, Discord, I want to get in. I want to talk shit to y'all. It's like, okay, I think. Check out our official website, binheadproductions.com/beatsandbti. Don't forget to order your candles for Father's Day. Get out there. Go to Ibeji oilsandcandles.com and order something very nice for your pops or your someone that's like your father figure. Either one.
Make sure that the Fuda artists create all the Aloy, Horizon, Zero Dawn characters. Like, do it big this time. You know what I mean? Like, my Fuda artists, listen to me. Make it happen. We need it.
You know what? I don't
Hidden
think
West.
there's a Fuda Aloy actually. I've never seen it.
Are you kidding me?
Bullshit.
You drunk.
Well, here's the
all
thing.
kind of Fuda Aloy.
Unlike you, I'm not searching for Fuda.
It finds
You're
you.
the one.
You don't have to fucking
Yeah,
search for
no,
it. Aloy,
you-
Fuda Aloy finds you. Take that spear.
You find it, and then you end up showing it to me, and I'm just like, this is fucking. Why would you do this to my life? Why?
There's probably a
You need
Fuda.
it.
There's probably a Fuda old ninja. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's terrible.
Peace.